Oh, you want to be an arms warrior? Well, I can't say that I blame you. Since the beginning of history, real and fictional, the arms warrior has been found out on the front lines of the battlefield, often as officers or even leaders of fighting groups and armies. They are the first to enter combat, and more often than not, the last ones standing when it's all over. They attack with a single two-handed weapon and the skill to drive it home. Their defenses are their thick armor and their mastery of combat tactics. Individually, arms warriors can slay mighty beasts or decimate scores of minions, but working as a team, they can slay dragons, conquer entire worlds, and achieve the impossible. So sit back, relax, and pay attention, because I'm going to teach you how to be an arms warrior. Before we get started, let me make this part clear. This video is about the basics. I'm going to show you the absolute core ingredients of the arms warrior fighting strategy. Once you have a grasp of those, other warriors can show you the next step. Your single most important ability is Mortal Strike. This major attack does strong damage, but more importantly generates rage that you will spend on your other abilities. Mortal Strike also causes the victim to bleed from deep wounds, taking extra damage. Mortal Strike can be used every 6 seconds, and should be used just about every time that it is ready. The other major ability is Colossus Smash. This mid-range damaging ability allows your attacks to completely ignore the victim's armor for 6 seconds. This is a massive swing of damage, around 50% more than normal, and should be used whenever it is ready, unless the victim is already affected. It has a 20-second cooldown, but can sometimes randomly proc earlier, which comes with a visual display shown here and here. After Mortal Strike and Colossus Smash, what abilities you use next are based on one thing: whether the target is affected by your Colossus Smash or not. If they are, your best move is Slam. Slam does a huge pile of damage, and this already high damage goes up even more if the target has Colossus Smash on them. The downside is that it costs an enormous amount of rage to use. The idea, then, is to let your rage build up until you use Colossus Smash, and then to use slam after slam on the target, pounding them into the dirt. If the target is below 20% health, Execute replaces Slam, but there are no other major changes. In the heat of battle, how can you tell if Colossus Smash is up? You should be able to see it up on your target's debuffs. Also, if your Colossus Smash icon is less than 1/3 refilled, that's about the 4 o'clock position, then Colossus Smash is still up. Otherwise, it's not. There are also some good add-ons that can help you with this part too. Colossus Smash lasts 6 seconds, which is 4 attacks. Ideally, these should be 3 slams and 1 Mortal Strike. Remember, Mortal Strike is really important, so keep using it. Now, what if Colossus Smash isn't up? Your first choice is Overpower. It doesn't cause a lot of damage, but it is fast, and it doesn't cost a lot of rage either. Overpower also speeds up the timer towards your next Mortal Strike, letting you get some of that rage back. You get 2 uses of Overpower for each Mortal Strike you use, so usually you'll have a few to burn when the time comes that you need them. Another really strong option is Dragon Roar. Dragon Roar does enormous piles of damage, but also always bypasses all armor, so there's no reason to use it during Colossus Smash. In addition, it costs no rage, it always critically hits, and knocks smaller creatures back. It has a 60-second cooldown, and you should use this brutal attack every possible chance you get. If you can't use either of these, you do still have some options, but just remember, don't burn your rage if Colossus Smash isn't on the target. It's not worth it. That takes care of single targets, but what about those times when you're facing more than one enemy? Arms Warriors actually have 2 very strong tools for hitting multiple targets. Sweeping Strikes is one of them. It costs a lot of rage to use, but for 10 seconds your attacks come with a free cleave and do damage to a second nearby target. It has a 10-second cooldown, so you can keep this up indefinitely. Thunderclap is the other. It does damage to all nearby targets, but more importantly, puts your Deep Wounds bleeding debuff on them as well. You don't want to spam this, the rage cost is too high for that, but just make sure everybody's bleeding. Other than that, well, you kinda want to keep doing your normal rotation, especially if one of the ads has a skull mark or needs to be focused down. A lot of your core abilities are even more important when fighting in groups. A lot of getting this basic rotation under control is practice, muscle memory. Practice dummies are a start, but words don't look back. I recommend 2 places for learning your rotation, Old Raids and the Timeless Isle. Both have a good mix of single and multiple targets that won't die immediately, letting you get further into your rotation while dodging attacks and interrupting, all without the major risk of death. Once you have the basics under control, your next step is finding the more advanced techniques. Here are a couple of places you can find them, and loads of other useful information as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield.